Welcome everyone to my final review and my final thoughts of WWE 2K22. Now you see I have the deluxe edition here, and another year, another platinum. I just platinumed this game moments ago, and we're going to go into my final thoughts about this game. What I like, what I dislike, what they did better than WWE 2K20, and just my overall opinion as to whether or not you should pick this up. Now, WWE 2K22 was a breath of fresh air in so many ways, and it's because coming off WWE 2K20, which personally I always say I didn't believe that was such a bad game, minus the bugginess, this felt like a reinvention in so many ways because so many things about this game had so much charm. You know, they brought back GM mode, which I used to hate the old GM modes because I could never figure it out. But this game actually makes it worse, and you choose different lengths and, you know, different match types, and everything kind of really works out with that. One little thing I liked about this game is the grappling system, as much as it kind of harkened back to like the Here Comes the Pain days where you could like grapple first and then do your moves from there instead of just like trying to do like button combos and stuff. The game itself was beautiful this year. Not a lot of glitches. It did crash on me on the PS5 a few times, but nothing that was substantial enough to piss me off. One of the big things in this game that was a big focal point, which I was not really a big fan of, was the My Faction mode, where you kind of assemble a group of superstars and just kind of go through different towers and proving grounds and weekly towers, and it basically plays out like a little bit of a card game. Now, I liked the idea of My Faction mode. I liked some of the challenges, some of the matches. Proving grounds was my favorite, but to get the trophies needed for for My Faction mode, it was such a freaking grind. It's a minimum of 500 matches if you get everything done properly and like efficiently, but that mode really made me feel like I was not going to finish like 100% this game, but I got through it. I kind of fought through it. And it wasn't awful. It was just there was no story that wanted to keep me there, so it was just very bland. You know, it was just kind of exhibition match after exhibition match, and then if you do like the regular faction wars, you're just sitting there in 8-man tags all the time, and I was not a big fan of those. My Rise mode makes a return where you can now play as a male and a female characters, which you could do in 2K20, but it's kind of separate stories this time around. It was fun. It's cool. I like the aesthetic of how My Rise works. It's definitely better than the old season mode used to be back in, I think, WWE 2K16 or 17. I hated it. It was so tedious, which I think that was kind of like universe mode. But this was cool. There's a story. There's different branches. There's different objectives you could get from going through NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. And different storylines. And some of them, like One Night Nitro, where they try to do like a WCW reunion. It's kind of cool. They're kind of good concepts. I just wish some of the stories could have been fleshed out longer. They're kind of only spanning over like a couple matches. They're not super in-depth. I still miss the old school season mode from like the SmackDown versus Raw and Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain days, where it was like a full-fledged story. But I do like that there was a really cool story in here. In terms of the roster, I love the roster. There's like so many sleeper hit characters. Like in Faction Wars, for example, I found myself being a big Boogeyman player because his moves just really worked for my playing style. Even though I tend to always go with like technicians or strikers, him just kind of being like a low-key, I think he's a striker, but like a low-key powerhouse, kind of worked out. There's the card evolutions going back to My Faction mode, which kind of made your card stronger and got different, I don't want to say abilities, but different strengths as you went on. I hate to harp on My Faction mode because, like I said, it was a great concept, collecting all your different superstars and all that, but just so freaking tedious. A lot of the match types are cool in here again. Hell in a Cell, I really liked being able to like break out of the cell and also climb to the top and start slamming people around. But overall, WWE 2K22, without going into much detail, great roster, plays great, love the new gameplay improvements. GM mode was a lot of fun. The creation suite is always really cool. My Rise was a cool mode, story mode, to just kind of build your way through the brands. It's male, female superstar, and I like that they were completely separate stories, whereas in 2K20, you were like best friends with the female or the male superstar, depending how you played. And it was like an intertwining story. So this was kind of cool that they kept it different, even though I liked 2K20's story, I think, a little bit more, just for the fact that it was an actual like story mode and it wasn't kind of just like playing out through like beepers and challenge matches. But it wasn't bad. My Rise isn't awful in this game. And overall, you know, this was just a really fun iteration. In terms of gameplay, that's kind of what kept me here, because the gameplay is so fresh. Like I said, it harpens back to like the old Here Comes the Pain days in ways. Backstage Arena also I love. It's so much better than it has been, where it used to just be like really stupid. The Backstage Arena in this game kind of reminds me of the SmackDown 2 Backstage Arena, where you could like climb on the boxes, climb up random ladders, and jump off random things. Yeah, I was actually a big fan of this backstage area for fighting in this game compared to, you know, how it had been previously. But overall, like I said, WWE 2K22 was a really fun time. I had to probably put 100 hours or more into this trying to platinum it. Definitely worth the pickup if you're a fan of wrestling games. It's a better game than they have been putting out over the last couple years in terms of quality and how it plays. Taking that year off really did Visual Concepts a kind of great service with them trying to figure out how to make a decent wrestling game. Showcase mode, of course, you can't forget about Showcase mode, going through Rey Mysterio's career. Great time, really fun, definitely worth it. Pick this one up if you're a fan of wrestling games, guys. If you've played WWE 2K22, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I'll catch you later. See ya. Bye.